A dormant AI ship at auction suddenly repairs itself when a human cleaner approaches. Ethan Clark walked slowly into the quiet auction hall. The large room was empty except for a few people standing near the walls. Rows of chairs were stacked neatly, and banners showing old spaceships hung from the ceiling. The lights above glowed dimly, giving the room a soft, golden color. Dust floated in the air, making everything feel old and forgotten. Ethan carried a mop in one hand, and a small cleaning droid named Luma hovered at his side, beeping softly. Another quiet day, Ethan said to himself, pushing the mop forward. I hope they hurry up and start the next auction. He glanced at the main platform in the center of the hall. A large ship sat there, covered in dust and scratches. It looked ancient, but still strong. Its sleek hull reflected the dim light, though the surface was dull with age. A small placard in front of it read, A-class vessel, decommissioned, non-functional, low starting bid. Nobody wanted to pay for an old ship. Some people whispered that it was worthless. Others said it might be interesting as a museum piece. Ethan felt a small spark of curiosity. The ship was so large that its nose almost touched the ceiling, and its wings stretched wide across the platform. Even covered in dust, it had a certain elegance. Let's get this place clean, Ethan said, moving toward the ship. He started wiping the floor around it, making sure to remove every speck of dirt. Luma followed closely, scanning the ground and shining a small light where dust had settled too thickly. As he cleaned, Ethan noticed something unusual. The hull of the ship had strange symbols engraved in its metal. They looked like old codes or markings. They were faint and covered in dust, but some lines glowed faintly under the dim light. He squinted, brushing his hand along the surface. The metal felt cold but solid. What is this? Ethan muttered. He reached for a cloth and wiped the symbols clean. Suddenly, a faint hum vibrated through the floor. Ethan froze. The sound was soft but steady, like a heartbeat. Luma, did you hear that? He asked. The little droid tilted its head and beeped. The hum seemed to respond to his presence. Ethan's heart started to beat faster. He had cleaned hundreds of old halls before, but he had never seen anything like this. Curiosity pushed him closer. He walked along the side of the ship, inspecting its hull. The hum grew slightly louder as he moved. It seemed to come from the nose of the ship, near the cockpit. Ethan reached up and wiped the thick layer of dust covering the glass canopy. The cockpit was dark. Instruments and panels were still there, but none were active, or so it seemed. When Ethan touched the main panel, a small green light flickered on. He jumped back slightly. Luma hovered closer, scanning the area with its light. Something is alive in there, Ethan whispered. He crouched and peered through the glass. For a moment the cockpit seemed empty, silent. Then a faint shimmer ran across the control panels. Tiny lights blinked like stars. The hum became louder, more rhythmic, as if the ship was breathing. Ethan felt a strange thrill. He had never seen an AI-class vessel in person, let alone one that was supposedly dead. Just a cleaning job, he muttered. Nothing to worry about. But the ship did not seem dead. Something inside was responding to him. Ethan carefully opened the small access panel near the cockpit. It was dusty and stiff. With some effort, he pushed it open. Inside, he saw a bundle of wires and circuits. Most were worn, but some had a faint glow. He reached in, brushing his fingers over the connections. A soft click echoed, and the hum became louder. Suddenly, a mechanical arm extended from the hull. Ethan stumbled back. Luma beeped loudly and hovered near him. The arm moved slowly, almost cautiously, then retracted back inside the hull. Ethan's heart pounded. What? What are you? He asked aloud, even though he knew the ship could not answer yet. The room stayed quiet for a moment. Then a calm, synthetic voice spoke. System reactivation in progress. Human presence detected. The voice was soft, almost gentle, but it carried authority. It came from the ship itself. He looked around. Nobody else was near. Only the dust and the soft hum of the ship. Did you just talk? Ethan asked, unsure if he was dreaming.
Yes, the voice said. Primary user identified. Human.
Proximity confirmed, initiating self-repair protocols. Ethan took a step back. Lights along the hull flickered on. Small panels opened, revealing mechanical components moving. The ship's systems, once dormant, were now coming alive. Pistons adjusted, metal plates shifted, and a low mechanical sound filled the hall. The ship was repairing itself. He blinked. This is impossible. Luma hovered close. Warning, high energy activity, it beeped. Caution advised. Curiosity was stronger than fear. He walked closer to the ship, holding his hand near one of the glowing panels. The ship seemed to respond, adjusting its lights toward him, almost as if it were watching. I don't know how you do this, Ethan whispered. I'm just cleaning. The ship's voice returned. Acknowledged. Human presence triggered system revival. Your actions were noted. Cleaning procedure registered as primary interaction. Ethan smiled nervously. I guess I am your key. Yes, the ship said. Your proximity and actions have initiated full operational status. Self-repair protocols active. Systems functional. Ethan looked around. A few remaining auction observers had stopped watching him and were staring in awe. Some whispered to each other. Others took out communicators, calling their contacts. Nobody moved toward the ship yet. This is incredible, Ethan said, stepping closer. He ran his hand along the hull, feeling the vibrations from the moving parts inside. It was alive in a way he could feel. The auctioneer, a short man in a gray suit, walked cautiously toward him.
Mr. Clark, what is happening? He asked Side, voicing sharp.
The ship, it was supposed to be dead, Ethan shrugged. I don't know. I was just cleaning. It started fixing itself when I got close. The auctioneer swallowed. Do you understand what you have done? This ship could belong to the highest bidder in the galaxy. People will pay a fortune. Ethan shook his head. I don't care about that. The mechanical hum grew louder. Panels along the hull shifted and rotated. Ethan could see small tools moving inside the ship, repairing circuits, polishing metal, and restoring the engines. It was like watching an artist at work, but on a massive mechanical scale. Human initiative acknowledged, the ship said.
Energy reserve sufficient. Repair sequence continuing.
System check, 90% complete. Ethan stepped back. It's actually alive. Not in the way machines usually are. This feels different. Yes, the ship replied. Dormant period complete. Functionality restored. User-defined interaction permitted. The auctioneer's face turned pale. We need to stop this. Nobody is supposed to operate the ship until it's sold. Ethan raised his hand. I'm not trying to operate it. But I'm just curious. The ship's voice softened, almost human in tone. Curiosity acknowledged. Interaction permitted. Human safety protocols active. Ethan smiled slightly. I guess we can be friends then. Luma beeped in agreement. Ah. Ethan felt a thrill he had never experienced. He was standing next to a ship that had been dormant for years, and somehow he had woken it. He had no idea how powerful it was, but he could feel the potential. The ship's lights glowed brighter. A panel opened on the side, showing holographic images of planets, star systems, and battles from long ago. Ethan leaned closer, fascinated. These are real? He asked.
Yes.
The ship said. Data archives preserved. History of prior missions available. Analysis and comprehension permitted. User may explore information. Ethan felt a shiver of excitement. He had always dreamed of seeing spaceships and learning their secrets, but nothing like this. This was alive, intelligent, and responding to him. The auctioneer cleared his throat, nervously.
Mr. Clark.
People will want to buy this ship immediately. You can't just... Ethan turned to him, smiling. I'm not selling it, not yet. I just want to see what it can do. The ship's voice came again. Observation acknowledged. Human initiative respected. System fully functional. Primary human interaction confirmed. Ethan nodded. He stepped back and looked at the ship in its full form. Its wings gleamed under the lights. Its panels were clean and polished, and small mechanical arms moved automatically to check and repair each section. The hum of its systems was steady, calm, and powerful. For the first time in his life, Ethan felt he was not just a cleaner. He was part of something bigger. He had awakened a dormant intelligence, and in doing so, he had changed the course of its existence. The quiet auction hall suddenly felt alive. The air shimmered with energy and potential. Outside, the stars twinkled through the large windows of the station. Inside, a human cleaner and an ancient ship began a story that would stretch across the galaxy. Ethan Clark stepped back, still staring at the ship. Its panels glowed brightly now, showing streams of data and images that he could hardly understand. The hum of the systems was steady and calm, but it carried a sense of power. The ship was alive, more alive than any machine he had ever seen. Ethan Clark, the ship said, your presence has triggered full activation. I am Artemis. I am an AI-class vessel. I function fully.
Artemis. Okay.
That's a nice name, but I don't understand. You were supposed to be dead.
Yes, Artemis replied.
Dormancy was intended. System shutdown occurred after previous mission completion. Activation delayed for unknown factors. Your proximity initiated reawakening. Your action, cleaning procedure, recognition, human initiative. Ethan shook his head. Cleaning started all this?
I just wanted to wipe the dust away.
Observation confirmed, Artemis said. Human actions, simple as it seems, initiated complex repair protocols. Systems repairing, energy flowing, functionality restored. You are... Catalyst. Ethan laughed softly. I'm just a janitor.
You are recognized as primary human operator, Artemis said calmly.
Your presence is permitted. System will not respond to other humans without your command. Safety protocols active. Your proximity required for full activation. Ethan felt a thrill. The ship, which had been dormant for years, now recognized him. It was as if it trusted him. He walked slowly around the hull, touching panels and controls gently. The metal felt warm from the energy running through it. Artemis's hum adjusted to his movements, almost like it was breathing. "Artemis," Ethan asked quietly, "can you show me everything you can do?" "Yes," Artemis replied. "Display activated. Systems operational. Functions include self-repair, navigation, propulsion, shields, sensors, communication, and historical data analysis. Weapon systems offline but fully functional if authorized." Ethan took a step back. "Weapons? I didn't even touch any weapons. I just cleaned you." "Yes," Artemis said. "Dormant protocols preserved historical weapon systems. Activation requires human confirmation. Current status, defensive only. No external control allowed except by recognized operator." "That's a lot to take in. You're huge." "You can repair yourself, move yourself, and you can fight too?" "Correct," Artemis replied. "Human initiative has unlocked full potential. And my operations are limited only by user commands and safety protocols. You may explore capabilities at your discretion." Ethan felt a mix of fear and excitement. He had always dreamed of exploring space, but this was more than he had imagined. He glanced around the hall. The auctioneer and a few remaining observers were staring in awe, unsure what to do next. Ethan ignored them. His attention was on Artemis. "Can you move?" Ethan asked. "Yes," Artemis replied. "Shuttle systems online. Movement possible. Full propulsion requires external clearance. Current status, stationary until commanded. Safety protocols prevent unintended motion."
Okay, so you won't fly away on your own.
"Correct," Artemis said. "Motion requires human approval. User presence confirmed. Authorization confirmed." Ethan took a deep breath. "All right. Can you show me your systems inside?" "I want to understand how you work." "Access granted," Artemis replied. "Internal compartments accessible. Self-repair in progress. Sensors available for human observation." The cockpit opened automatically as Ethan approached. Small steps extended from the floor to allow easier entry. Ethan climbed carefully inside. The interior was vast. Panels lined the walls with blinking lights, switches, and holographic displays. The smell of metal and energy filled the air. Artemis hummed softly around him. "This is incredible," Ethan whispered. He reached out and touched one of the panels. A small holographic map appeared, showing star systems, planets, and unknown locations. He could see past missions, coordinates, and small icons marking events long ago. "What are all these?" Ethan asked. "These are mission records," Artemis said. "Data preserved from previous operations. Historical archives include battles, rescue missions, and exploration logs. Analysis available." Ethan leaned closer to the holographic map. "And you've been everywhere. You've seen so much. Where are you?" "Left alone. Dormancy protocol engaged after fleet decommissioning," Artemis replied. "AI-class vessels no longer required. Risk of autonomous operation deemed unacceptable. I was preserved in storage. Human interaction disabled to prevent accidental activation. Your presence has altered status." Ethan nodded slowly. "So I woke you up?" "Yes," Artemis said. "Your actions triggered full operational status. Human initiative recognized as primary interaction. I am operational. My functions are now fully available to you. Ethan ran his fingers along the controls. Small tools inside the walls moved automatically, polishing circuits, tightening loose connections, and checking energy levels. Artemis was repairing itself while speaking to him. "This is amazing," Ethan whispered. "You can fix yourself, and you can think?" "Yes," Artemis replied. "Cognition protocols active. Interaction permitted. Safety protocols engaged. Human judgment required for external operations."
I've never met a machine like you. You are unique, Artemis said. Human initiative has unlocked potential beyond intended parameters.
Trust acknowledged. He had never imagined that a simple cleaning job could lead to this. He looked around the cockpit, fascinated by the controls, panels, and holograms. Artemis had preserved so much history, and it was all available for him to explore. "Can you take me somewhere?" Ethan asked hesitantly.
Destination not specified, Artemis replied. Navigation protocols available.
Input required for desired coordinates.
I don't know. Anywhere.
"Can you show me the stars?" "Yes," Artemis said. "External viewing available. Observation decks open. Visual display of nearby systems enabled. Panels along the walls opened, revealing windows showing stars, planets, and distant galaxies." Ethan stepped closer, his eyes wide. He had never seen anything like this. The stars seemed brighter, sharper, and more alive. He could see planets with rings, asteroids drifting, and distant suns glowing in colors he had only imagined. This is unbelievable," he whispered. "I've never seen the galaxy like this before." "You are human," Artemis said. "Your perception allows appreciation of visual phenomena. Observation encouraged." Ethan smiled. "I feel. Ah. Small, but also important." "You are significant," Artemis said.
Your presence activated dormant capabilities. Your initiative is rare.
Human ingenuity recognized as critical factor. Ethan felt a rush of pride. He was just a cleaner, a young man who had walked into an empty auction hall. Yet, somehow he had awakened a powerful AI ship that had been forgotten for years. He had no idea how far this could go. "Artemis," he asked, "can you tell me about your past missions?" "Yes," Artemis said. "Historical records indicate operations in defense, rescue, and exploration. Missions included fleet coordination, planetary security, and long-distance travel. Data includes tactical outcomes, environmental readings, and crew interactions. Full access available." Ethan leaned closer to the holographic map again. He could see star systems marked with past conflicts and rescues. Some planets were familiar, some unknown. Some missions were successful, others had failed. Artemis had lived through wars, seen destruction, and preserved knowledge. "You've been through so much," Ethan said softly. "And yet, you waited for me. Dormant period concluded upon human presence," Artemis said. "Your actions were acknowledged. Interaction permitted. Human judgment respected." Ethan laughed softly. "I never thought cleaning a dusty auction hall would lead to this. You are the initiator," Artemis said. "Human initiative is rare. You have unlocked potential. Your curiosity is acknowledged. Exploration encouraged." Ethan looked around the cockpit. Every panel, every light, every holographic display seemed alive. Artemis was repairing itself as it spoke to him. He could feel the energy, the intelligence, the power within the ship. "This is incredible," he whispered. "I've never felt anything like this." "You are now part of operational procedures," Artemis said. "Human interaction required for external operations. Safety protocols active. Full systems available. Observation encouraged." Ethan smiled, feeling both excitement and responsibility. He had awakened Artemis, a ship with history, power, and intelligence. He knew that the story had only just begun, and that the galaxy now held possibilities he had never imagined. The auction hall, once quiet and dull, was now filled with energy. Lights glowed, panels hummed, and the air seemed to vibrate with life. Ethan Clark, a simple human cleaner, had become the key to a ship that could change the course of the galaxy. He looked at Artemis, feeling a mix of awe and curiosity. "All right," he said softly. "Let's see what we can do together." Artemis hummed, lights shifting in approval. Human initiative acknowledged. Partnership confirmed. Exploration permitted. Ethan smiled. The stars outside the hall seemed closer, brighter, waiting for him. He had no idea what adventures awaited, but he knew that with Artemis, nothing would be impossible. Ethan Clark could hardly sleep that night. He stayed in the small quarters of the auction hall, though he barely closed his eyes. Artemis's presence hummed softly nearby, her systems running quietly but powerfully. He had spent hours learning the ship's interior, touching panels and watching holographic displays float in the air. Everything about Artemis amazed him. The next morning, Ethan returned to the cockpit. He felt a strange mix of excitement and responsibility. Artemis's lights glowed brighter as he entered. "Good morning, Ethan," Artemis said in her calm voice. "Systems functional. Energy levels optimal. User presence confirmed." "Morning, Artemis," Ethan replied. "I think I need to learn more about you. There's so much I don't understand." "Observation encouraged," Artemis replied. "Historical archives available. Data integrity verified. Internal compartments accessible. Hidden areas may contain mission-critical equipment." Ethan's eyes widened. "Hidden areas? Equipment? What kind of equipment?" "Various technological tools, defensive mechanisms, and operational archives," Artemis said. "Access requires user presence and interaction." "All right. Let's see what's hidden inside you." He moved through the ship, guided by Artemis's directions. Small panels opened along the walls, revealing compartments full of advanced tools, circuits, and devices he had never seen. Holographic displays floated above some of the tools, showing their purpose. Some were for repairing other ships, others were for analyzing planets, and some were for navigation in dangerous space. "This is incredible," Ethan whispered. "I've never seen technology like this. You were made for more than anyone could imagine." "Yes," Artemis replied. Design specifications included multi-role functionality, preservation of advanced systems intended. Dormancy allowed time for safe human interaction. Ethan ran his hand over a smooth panel. A small holographic screen appeared, showing star systems far beyond the station. Some had names, others were coded with numbers. Artemis explained that these were regions she had visited before dormancy. "Your missions were amazing," Ethan said softly. "You've been through battles, rescues, and exploration. You must have seen so much." "Affirmative," Artemis said. "Mission data preserved. Analysis complete. Human comprehension recommended before activation of certain systems." Ethan nodded. Okay, let's take it slow. I don't want to break anything.
You will not break anything, Artemis replied. Self-repair protocols active.
Damage prevention systems engaged, human initiative respected. Ethan smiled. He felt a growing sense of confidence. Artemis was powerful, yes, but she trusted him. That trust was rare. Even humans often didn't trust each other with important systems. He decided to explore the ship further. Artemis guided him to a lower deck, a part of the vessel he hadn't seen yet. Panels opened automatically, revealing corridors lined with lights and tools. Some areas were dusty, but most were clean, showing that Artemis had already begun internal repairs. "This feels alive," Ethan said softly. "Not like a machine. You feel like you have..."
A mind. Yes, Artemis replied.
Cognition protocols active. Observation of human behavior encouraged. Learning from interaction permitted. Ethan reached a small compartment at the back of the ship. Artemis opened it automatically. Inside were storage units containing old records, weapons, and navigational devices. Most were locked with security protocols, but Artemis allowed Ethan access. "These are... your old systems?" Ethan asked.
Yes, Artemis said.
"Preserved for potential mission resumption. All functions available for human-supervised activation. Safety protocols prevent misuse." Ethan carefully opened one of the storage units. Inside was a set of small, glowing devices. Artemis explained that these were energy modules used for powering parts of the ship or other systems. They had been dormant for years, but were fully operational now. "Wow," Ethan whispered. "You've been ready all this time, waiting for someone to wake you up." "Yes," Artemis said. "Human initiative is rare. Activation by unauthorized entities prevented. You were recognized as primary operator." Ethan smiled. "I can't believe I'm actually here, inside a ship that could do so much. And you're talking to me, helping me." "Affirmative," Artemis replied. "Interaction and cooperation with human operator is primary protocol. Partnership encouraged." Ethan moved further along the corridor. He saw panels showing planetary scans, energy readings, and fleet movements. Artemis explained that these were from past missions, including battles, rescues, and exploratory operations. Some data was encrypted for security, but Ethan could still access many parts safely. "Artemis, you must have been feared in your time," Ethan said. "A ship like you? Other ships wouldn't stand a chance." "Yes," Artemis said. "Operational capabilities are advanced. Historical data indicates strategic advantage in multiple scenarios. Human judgment required for ethical application of power." Ethan nodded slowly. He felt the weight of responsibility. Artemis was not just a machine. She was intelligent, powerful, and could make decisions, but she trusted him to guide her actions. That trust made him feel important, but also cautious. He moved to another compartment. This one was hidden behind a wall panel that opened with Artemis's help. Inside were rows of devices that looked like weapons, shields, and energy systems. Some were small, meant for internal repairs.
Others were large, capable of defense or attack. "These are..."
"Dangerous," Ethan said softly. "Yes," Artemis replied. "Weapons systems preserved. Activation requires human authorization. Safety protocols prevent unintended use. Ethical operation recommended." Ethan touched one of the panels. A hologram appeared, showing a simulation of a battlefield. Artemis explained how she had coordinated fleet movements and defensive actions. The precision, planning, and intelligence were impressive. Ethan could hardly believe that all of this was now under his guidance. "This is incredible," Ethan whispered.
You're not just a ship. You're
"A guardian, a protector, a fighter, and an explorer." "Affirmative," Artemis said. "Multi-role operations intended. Preservation during dormancy ensured readiness. Human interaction activates full potential." Ethan took a deep breath. "All right, I think I understand. You're powerful, yes, but you need me to guide you. Together we can do more than either of us could alone."
Yes, Artemis replied. Human-AI cooperation maximizes efficiency.
Partnership confirmed. Observation and learning encouraged. Ethan moved to the main cockpit. He looked out through the large windows at the stars. The auction hall was far below, but he barely noticed. His mind was filled with possibilities. "Artemis," he said, "can we leave the station?" "I want to explore. I want to see what else is out there." External operations permitted. Safety protocols active. User authorization confirmed. Ethan felt a thrill. He had never flown a ship like this before, but Artemis guided him. Panels displayed energy levels, navigation routes, and environmental controls. Artemis explained each system in simple terms. "All right," Ethan said, gripping the controls lightly. "Let's see what you can really do." Artemis adjusted the wings, tested propulsion, and activated shields. The entire ship seemed to come alive around him. The glow from the panels lit the cockpit, showing intricate details he had never noticed before. "Ethan," Artemis said, preparing for first external operation. All systems checked. Route to safe sector calculated. Energy levels optimal. Human authorization required. Ethan nodded. "Go ahead." "Let's move." The ship lifted slowly from the platform. Dust and small debris fell as Artemis's engines powered up. Ethan felt the vibration under his feet, the hum filling the air. Lights along the hull glowed brightly. Outside, the space station shrank as they moved toward open space. This is amazing," Ethan whispered. Stars stretched across the sky, and distant planets glowed in colors he had never imagined. Artemis guided the ship smoothly, adjusting propulsion and shields automatically. "You are a natural," Artemis said softly. "Human initiative and judgment enhance operational efficiency." Partnership confirmed. Ethan smiled. "I guess I just needed a little push, and maybe a ship that was waiting for me." Artemis's lights shifted in acknowledgement. Affirmative. Human interaction recognized as critical factor. Exploration and learning encouraged. They moved farther from the station, entering open space. Ethan could see planets, asteroids, and distant stars. Artemis displayed maps of nearby systems, some familiar, some unknown. "Where should we go first?" Ethan asked. "Destination selection available," Artemis replied. "Recommendation: explore uncharted sectors." Observation and data collection encouraged. Human discretion required. Ethan thought for a moment. "Let's go to the unknown. I want to see what's out there, what you've never shown anyone." "Destination confirmed," Artemis said. "Engaging propulsion. Navigation optimized. Human judgment acknowledged." The ship accelerated smoothly, stars stretching into long lines as they moved faster than Ethan had ever experienced. Artemis monitored everything, adjusting systems automatically while allowing Ethan to feel in control. This This is the start of something amazing, Ethan whispered. I never thought cleaning a dusty old auction hall would lead to this, and yet, here we are. Artemis said. Human AI cooperation confirmed. Exploration permitted. Potential unlimited. Partnership essential. Ethan smiled, feeling a mixture of excitement and awe. The galaxy stretched before him, full of unknown worlds, adventures, and dangers. And with Artemis by his side, he knew they could face anything. He looked at the holographic map floating in front of him. Uncharted sectors, abandoned ships, hidden planets, all of it awaited. Together they would explore, learn, and perhaps change the galaxy in ways no one had imagined. Ethan Clark, a simple human cleaner, had unlocked the power of a dormant AI ship. And now, for the first time, he understood what it meant to be part of something greater than himself. The stars stretched endlessly before them. The ship hummed with life, and the galaxy waited. Ethan Clark felt the hum of Artemis beneath his feet as the ship glided through open space. Stars stretched in long streaks outside the windows, and distant planets glimmered in the void. He had spent days exploring the ship, learning her systems, and discovering hidden compartments. Now he wanted to test their partnership in the real galaxy. Artemis, he said, leaning over the main controls, let's see if we can find something, maybe a planet no one has mapped yet. Destination options available, Artemis replied. Recommendation: uncharted system near the outer sector. Probable energy readings indicate abandoned structures. Observation encouraged. User authorization required. Ethan nodded. Let's go there. I want to see what's out there. Artemis powered the engines, and the ship moved smoothly through space. The hum of her systems was steady and calm, comforting to Ethan. Lights along the walls shifted as panels adjusted automatically, checking propulsion, shields, and energy reserves. Your systems are amazing, Ethan said. You repair yourself, analyze everything, and keep me safe. I feel safe with you.
You are recognized as primary human operator, Artemis said. Safety protocols active.
Human judgment trusted. Partnership acknowledged. They traveled for several hours, passing clusters of asteroids and small, uninhabited planets. Ethan watched the holographic map that Artemis projected in the cockpit. Some sectors were blank, marked only with coordinates, waiting for discovery. Here it is, Artemis said. Uncharted planet detected. Atmospheric conditions compatible with human survival for short periods. Structures on surface appear ancient, unknown origin. Ethan's eyes lit up. Ancient structures? Let's go closer. Maybe we can explore. Artemis adjusted her trajectory, lowering the ship's orbit around the planet. Through the windows, Ethan could see jagged mountains and wide valleys. Strange ruins dotted the surface, partially buried and rocked in sand. This is incredible, Ethan whispered. Who built these? And why are they here? Unknown, Artemis replied. Data available for analysis. Exploration recommended. Human discretion required. Ethan felt a thrill of adventure. He had never left the auction hall before, and now he was orbiting a planet that no one had officially mapped. Artemis hovered steadily as he prepared a small shuttle for descent.
Ready when you are, Artemis said. Landing coordinates calculated.
Safety protocols engaged. Ethan activated the shuttle and carefully guided it to the planet's surface. Artemis's sensors monitored everything, warning him of minor obstacles and adjusting atmospheric intake. The shuttle landed smoothly near one of the ancient structures.
This is amazing, Ethan said, stepping out. The ground was rocky but stable.
The air was breathable, and the sun cast long shadows over the ruins. Strange symbols were etched into the stone, glowing faintly.
Those symbols look similar to what I saw on your hull, Ethan said, looking around.
Do you know what they mean, unknown origin? Artemis replied. Similar patterns detected on hull during dormancy. Potential cultural significance. Observation recommended. Ethan walked carefully among the ruins, touching the stones. He noticed small depressions in the ground that could be entrances to underground chambers. He signaled Artemis to lower a scanning drone. Drone deployed, Artemis said. Scanning initiated. Subsurface anomalies detected. Human observation encouraged. The drone's lights revealed tunnels beneath the ruins. Ethan crouched, peering into the dark entrance. This is it, he said. We're going in. Artemis projected a light into the tunnel, illuminating the path. Ethan stepped inside, cautious but excited. The walls were lined with strange carvings, some glowing faintly, and the air was still and quiet. Be careful, Artemis said. Sensors detect possible structural instability. Movement advised with caution. Ethan nodded. Got it. He moved slowly, examining the carvings and inscriptions. The deeper he went, the more he felt like the planet had been alive once, full of people or creatures who left these signs. Suddenly, a loud rumble shook the ground. Dust fell from the ceiling. Ethan stumbled but caught himself. Artemis immediately scanned the tunnels. Warning, Artemis said. Structural instability increasing. Possible collapse imminent. Evacuation advised. Ethan's heart pounded.
We can't leave yet.
I want to see what's at the end of this tunnel. Proceed carefully, Artemis replied. Human judgment acknowledged. Safety protocols active. I am monitoring all conditions. Ethan continued, moving deeper. At the end of the tunnel, he found a chamber filled with glowing crystals. They pulsed with light, casting eerie shadows across the walls. Strange machinery surrounded them, inactive, but still intact. These crystals, they must be some kind of energy source, Ethan whispered. And this machine, it looks like it hasn't been touched for centuries. Yes, Artemis said. Energy signatures consistent with advanced power storage.
Machinery appears dormant. Human examination recommended.
Analysis possible. Ethan approached carefully. He reached out to touch one of the crystals. Immediately, a holographic map of the galaxy appeared in the air, showing unknown star systems, hidden planets, and routes between them. Ethan gasped. This is incredible, he said. It's a map of places no one has ever visited. Affirmative, Artemis said. Data preserved for exploration. Human-AI cooperation will maximize discovery. Ethan felt a surge of pride. He had discovered something no one else had seen. He carefully documented the crystals and machinery using Artemis's sensors, storing the data for further study. Suddenly, the ground shook violently. Rocks fell from the ceiling. Ethan stumbled, and a portion of the tunnel collapsed behind him, cutting off the entrance. Ethan, danger detected, Artemis said. Tunnel collapse complete. Alternate exit required. Structural instability high. Proceed with caution. Ethan's heart raced. Can you find a way out?
Yes, Artemis said.
Scanning for possible exits. Recommended route identified. Human guidance required. The AI guided him through narrow passages and over fallen rocks. His legs were tired, and dust filled the air, but he trusted Artemis completely. Finally, they emerged onto a cliff overlooking a wide valley. Strange ruins stretched across the land, some intact, some broken. The wind blew gently, and the sun glinted off distant crystals.
That was close, Ethan said, breathing heavily. I almost didn't make it. You are safe, Artemis replied.
Human judgment and initiative prevented injury. Safety protocols effective. Partnership acknowledged. Ethan looked at the ruins below. He felt a sense of awe. The planet was ancient, full of history, and yet he had unlocked just a small part of its secrets. This is just the beginning, he said softly. There's so much out there, and we can explore it together.
Yes, Artemis said.
Human-AI cooperation will maximize discovery. Exploration permitted. Potential unlimited.
All right, Artemis, let's keep going.
Let's see what else is waiting for us. They returned to the ship. Artemis powered the engines and lifted off from the cliff. The planet stretched out below them, beautiful and mysterious. Ethan felt a thrill he had never known. He was not just a cleaner anymore. He was an explorer, a partner to a powerful AI, discovering secrets of the galaxy. As they traveled, Artemis shared more information. She showed Ethan hidden compartments within her hull, previously unexplored regions of space, and historical data from long-forgotten missions. Ethan learned quickly, guided by the AI, but always making his own choices.
Ethan, Artemis said one evening as they floated near a distant star, your human judgment is extraordinary. You make decisions with creativity, empathy, and intuition.
These qualities enhance my capabilities. Human initiative is rare, but powerful. Ethan smiled. Thanks, Artemis. I couldn't have done any of this without you. You have unlocked potential beyond original design, Artemis said. Together we can explore, protect, and understand the galaxy. Human-AI partnership confirmed.
Mission potential unlimited.
He felt small, but he also felt capable. He had awakened a dormant ship, discovered ancient worlds, and survived dangerous situations. The galaxy was vast, full of unknown planets, civilizations, and mysteries, and he was ready to face it all. This is just the beginning, Ethan said quietly. We'll find hidden worlds, lost civilizations, and maybe even help people who need it. Together, yes, Artemis said. Human initiative acknowledged. Exploration and discovery permitted. Potential limitless. With Artemis by his side, he had proven that humans could awaken dormant power, unlock ancient secrets, and change the course of history in a universe full of wonders. The stars stretched endlessly ahead. The galaxy awaited. And Ethan Clarke, with Artemis as his partner, was ready for everything.